now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always happens, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since it's been out there. The government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about a dangerous double top that has formed on the Bitcoin market that could spell a lot of sideways trading over the course of the rest of this year. As you guys know, we've been calling for a correction down to 35 at least, but potentially as low as 33, down to 31.8. We did fall down to $35,000, and it seems that that was enough of a correction for the bulls because very soon thereafter, Bitcoin rallied all the way back up to about 38,000, which is where we are currently sitting, or excuse me, that's not where we're currently sitting, but that's where we rallied to, and right now we're sitting in the high 36s, around 36.7 as of about 2 minutes ago. And so we're going to be looking at the charts and seeing where Bitcoin's going to go from here. We're going to be applying some of the principles of technical analysis that we have learned over the last 6 years of Crypto Jeb, and we're going to see where we're going to head next. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in, and before we get started, I just want to take a second to really pour my heart out and say thank you so much for your continued support. Some of you guys have been here since the very beginning. If you don't know what's going on, today is the 6th birthday of this channel. The first video that ever went up on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel went out 6 years ago today, November 16th, 2023. I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was one of the most pivotal days of my life because one of the coolest journeys of my entire life started that day. I'd say the third coolest journey of my life after following the Lord and having a family. This is the coolest thing that has ever happened to me. And I love what I do. I love what I do. I've never gotten tired of coming on YouTube, talking to you guys, sharing what I've learned with you guys, and growing closer together as a community. Do I get tired of certain elements? Maybe, sure. I mean, any job is going to have things you might not like fully, but I'll tell you what, I really feel like I'm exactly where I'm called to be, and I'm so very thankful for that, and I'm so very thankful to be able to share that with you guys, and I'm also very thankful for a really special announcement that I'm going to be making in about 5 minutes. This is something that I have been so excited about for so long, and is going to mark a new chapter. Honestly, it kind of marks the beginning of a whole new book for the channel. So we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and dive right on into it. All right, let's read some chat and give shout-outs to everybody where they are due. Sean O'Brien is in chat, said, let's go. Joe Bolier's in chat. Micah Man in chat said, good morning. Coin Operators in chat. Hashtag FinSolve. We're just going to have to put all the energy on because today's a good day. African Rat 007 said yes. Queen's in chat. The Weeg is in chat. The Bubble Paxi Show said, sup. Jason Barry said, morning, Jebster and everyone. Queen said, FinSolve or nothing. Alex Nibo said, good morning. BTC. Crypto Alert said, good morning. Striker said GM. Mario's in chat. Mattis S. XOOX. RJ. Gen X present. Daniel J's in chat. Queen's in chat again. A lot of people in chat. Flex said, what up, Jeb? New listener here. Wyckoff playing out nicely. BTC on its way to a new low in the next 8 to 9 months. 12.5K incoming. Can't say I agree with you, but I understand that may be the prediction. OMAC is in chat. By the way, shout out to you, Flex. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for sharing that opinion. I am not always going to agree with everybody's opinions, but I love to hear them, and I love to hear what you guys have to say. So many people in chat. There's like, just, the chat rate right now is insane. The chat rate is insane. There's so many people in chat. All right. Vu Jiong said, that's a cool name, by the way. Jeb, whatever happened to the coffee and crypto and coffee channel? That's a long story. That is a chapter that we can go into another time. In brief, that was, I I'm not really sure how to answer that in under 5 seconds. So if somebody wants to answer that for them, feel free to. Just make sure everybody's being polite and kind. All right. Now, I have an announcement to make, and then we're going to dive straight on into a bunch of technical analysis. We've got a lot to cover today, so please just bear with me while I share something that is just absolutely insanely cool with you guys. All right. Can you bear with me for just a second? Yes, you can do that. All right. Drum roll, please. Today is the 6th birthday of the YouTube channel. A little before the 1st birthday of the YouTube channel, I was in the process of hitting 10,000 subscribers. And I decided, you know what? I've got a lot of information about technical analysis that I want to share with people, and I want to help people understand the cryptocurrency markets. I don't want people to just, my father used to always say, don't ever let somebody else do your thinking for you. And I really appreciated that because I want to teach people how to think, not just tell them what to think. I want to do my best to not tell you what to think, but to present you with information, maybe my opinion, but then leave you to be able to do the final decision-making yourself. I believe that's the respectful and the honoring thing to do to you guys. And so with that thought process in mind, I decided that my best bet for helping you guys to succeed in cryptocurrency. This is over 5 years ago now. This is in the summer of 2018. I decided the best thing to do would be to invest in your education by creating a place where you could go to learn about the technical analysis that we were doing every single day on the YouTube channel. And I created something that absolutely revolutionized the technical analysis space in the cryptocurrency world, and it changed my life. And that was called the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. We had 5,000 students go through CT2A in the 4 years that it was active. And in fact, there is and I don't say this to brag, I just want to let you know, this plaque right here is one of just a few in existence from Teachable themselves for over $1 million in revenue because we sold so many copies of CT2A and you guys loved it. We have a full refund policy and it almost never got used. Like 1 in 300 or 400 people would ever say, hey, I want my money. Everybody else, and those people were just saying, they would email and they'd say, you know, I just don't have the time, right? That's the one time that we would ever get a refund. We have a no questions asked refund policy because that's how much we believe in this. That's a plaque from Teachable themselves. Showed up in the mail one day. And again, I don't say that to brag. I'm just saying that it's a product that changed the game. And you guys have never heard part of the next part of this story, but there was a voice in my life that convinced me that CT2A was a bad product, and there was a voice in my life that convinced me that it was a bad business model. And that voice, just so you know, is not a name that anybody knows in public. It is not anybody who is currently a YouTuber. It is somebody that was formerly on staff. I will not say their name, and it's not somebody you know, so you can't guess who I'm talking about. So this is not going to be able to blow back on anybody. But I was convinced that CT2A was a bad thing, and we had to rebuild it from the ground up, and we had to do it a completely different way for it to ever succeed as a business. Well, obviously, it was succeeding as a business because it was helping literally thousands of you guys. It was helping so many of you guys. So many people got into technical analysis through that course. And I was able to help so many people. And that was the golden age of the channel. Saying, look, I've got a thing here where I can teach you this incredible art form of technical analysis, and you can use it to generate for yourself wealth. What kind of awesome exchange is that? How cool is that I get to get up every single day? The viewership's probably diving right now because I'm not talking about TA. I don't care. What kind of awesome exchange is that I get to get up every single day and help people on a journey that has changed my life? That is so cool. This Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is known so far and wide. So many of you guys are probably saying, in chat, probably remember it or probably went through it. Sean Mack, the guy that founded Lux Algo, he remembers CT2A. I mentioned to him about a week and a half ago on a phone call with him that I was bringing it back. He's like, oh, I remember CT2A. Sean Mack, the guy that founded Lux Algo, before he founded Lux Algo, was a viewer of our channel. We're one of the places that he got into technical analysis. He remembers CT2A. And I'm so excited to tell you on the 6th birthday of the CryptoJeb YouTube channel, the CT2A is coming back. CT2A is coming back, and it is back right now. First link in the description, and I'm going to be putting content into it. I'm going to be putting new videos into it. I'm going to be shooting for at least one a month. I want to be putting a lot more than that into it, but right now I'm trying to put like 20 or 30 videos on the channel, right? But it is back. Sam S says, CT2A was my intro to TA. OMAC donated $5, said, happy birthday to the Crypto Jeb channel. May the Lord continue to bless you, your wife, your children, and lineage to come. I've been with you for over 2 years. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Queen said, financial sovereignty or nothing. You have forever changed my thought process. God placed me here. Really appreciate all of you guys. Really, really, really appreciate all of you guys. So yes, CT2A is back. And you can find it right here. The Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, as always, has been simplifying crypto. It's been down for 2 years, but it is back. To many newcomers, understanding cryptocurrency feels like an impossible task. It just isn't true. It's a simple, profitable, and rewarding skill to acquire, and I want to help you acquire it. And right now, there are over 45 videos in CT2A awaiting you to go and watch them. Now, there's a couple of things that I need to clarify. If you were in CT2A before, I promised you lifetime access, and you still have it. You do not need to buy CT2A again if you have already bought it. If you're one of the 5,000 people that have already purchased CT2A, you've already got it. So enjoy the new content that's going to be coming into it. If you have any login issues, let me know. We're going to be on top of that. If you have not purchased CT2A, I have changed the pricing model so that it is a little bit more of a sustained model, but there are some more updates that are going to be coming with that. Before, CT2A was $399. Well, there's been inflation, and obviously also with the fact that 5,000 of my most loyal fans have already bought it, that's just not a sustainable model right now. So what we've decided to do is to go the same model that Dave Ramsey's done with his online products, a similar model that like Sean has gone with Lux Algo, and basically the same model that all educational products are going in the entire industry, because it's a model that works. It's a model that allows for the content creator myself to continue to have the motivation to continue pushing it out, because it's still a profitable and rewarding product where I can continue to keep the lights on with it, and it is worth my time from a financial standpoint. I love what I do, but obviously I have to make it work financially, right? So we've changed the pricing model, and the pricing model right now for CT2A is going to be $997 for a lifetime, and it's going to be $347 a year. So if you want to sign up for just 1 year, watch everything and then cancel and only watch it for 1 year, but you can watch 45 videos in less than a year, then go for it. You can get access to CT2A for less than you could have 2.5 years ago when it was taken down, because the only pricing model was $399 for life. But if you don't care about lifetime access, and you're going to watch it all in 6 months and then you're done, you can save money with this model. But if you're one of the people that wants to have CT2A for the next many years that I'm putting new content into it, then that will be $997. And I will let you guys know that there will from time to time be some discounts on that. I'm not probably going to be doing anywhere near as many flash sales as we did before, because I want to maintain the integrity of the pricing model. But what I will tell you is that we're going to continue to put content into it, and I've already got a lot of ideas for videos that I want to put in it soon. I want to put content into it very, very soon, and there's already a bunch of content in it. And so if you're interested in CT2A, you can sign up with the link in the description box down below. I do understand if you want to wait, though, because there is a certain Friday around the corner, and maybe it's not the best idea business-wise to mention that, but I will. So I understand if you don't sign up today. Anyway, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. The Bubble Paxi Show donated $50. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Silver Surfer said, get to the double top. Less self-promotion. I'm sorry. You're right. Let's do it. All right. Sam S. said, really good course. Definitely recommend. Sam S. said, are the old videos still there? See the Jeb retro hairstyle? Yes, they are. Because everything I talked about in those videos has not changed. The way RSI works has not changed. So those are the same videos. We're going to be putting new videos in. We're going to be putting even more videos into CT2A, though. So don't you worry. There will be more coming in the future. All right. Let's dive right on into it. Let's jump straight on over to CoinMarketCap. Right now, Bitcoin trading at $36,800. Just jumped up as we were speaking. It is down 2.16% in the last 7 days, up 1.68% in the last 24 hours. And I want to address something, because I've been talking about a correction that's coming on Bitcoin, and we talked about how Bitcoin would go down to 3 levels. It would start at 1, though. It would go to 35, or it would go to 32.5 to 33, or it would go to 31.8. Bitcoin did fall all the way down to 35, basically within about 4 hours of us saying that it would go to one of those levels. We said right here on this blue line that Bitcoin was going to drop down to $35,000 based on the technical analysis that we had done, and it fell all the way down to $35,000 just a few hours later. Sometimes you don't get the timing that right, but it just so happened that it worked out that way on that day. However, Bitcoin managed to go through a rally. In yesterday's stream, we talked about this downtrending level of resistance. And we talked about how Bitcoin was going to need to find the strength to get through both of these levels. This uptrending level of resistance that we have right here, that was former support, this downtrending level of resistance here. And one of the things that we talked about is that Bitcoin is being continually pushed to the downside right here. And so it's going to have to find some kind of pressure to break through those levels. Well, Bitcoin managed to break through that level pretty easily. But here is part of my concern. Bitcoin double topped at $38,000. At $37,985 to be specific. We double topped almost down to the cent. This is a very, very, very much classic double top formation. About $37,978, we'll call it on that high. That is virtually the identical level that we tested back over here on November the 23rd. Within just a couple of dollars. Within just a couple of dollars, we double topped. Here's my concern. When you are looking at a market and you are trying to understand which direction that market is going to go, you need to pay very close attention to whether or not that market is able to break previous resistance or if it gets stopped out at previous resistance. And this market was stopped out at previous resistance. I love Bitcoin, and I'm very excited for where Bitcoin is right now. But this is something that we need to be careful with because this is not uptrending motion. This is consolidative motion. People wanted to throw me under the bus and say, well, Jeb, you screwed it up. Look at how that didn't age well because Bitcoin... Well, sure. Yeah, Bitcoin went through a big rally. We're happy about that, right? From 35 down to up to 38. But as I said in yesterday's stream, unless... You can go back and watch it. Unless Bitcoin breaks above the previous level of resistance, which is going to be difficult, we are still either in a sideways market or a downtrend. That is almost verbatim what I said yesterday. And that is exactly what Bitcoin is doing. It is double topped, which means that we are at best in a sideways market. You could argue, well, Jeb, you have double tops here and you have uptrending level of support here. And I will give you that. And I will make sure to remind you of that as well, because there are bullish factors in the market right now. What I need to see Bitcoin do next is I need to see Bitcoin hold above this uptrending level of support, or at least hold above this uptrending level of support. You can call it an uptrend if you're having higher lows and if you're having flat tops. But if you're having flat tops and you're coming back down to retest the same lows, that's where you have an issue. So right now, let's just kind of ignore the market going back from about here into the past. Just try and not look at, let me just go here, text, coordinates, visibility, style here, and boom. Now you can't see it, right? Just ignore that part of the market for a second. Oh, it's going to pop through anyway. All right, whatever. Ignore that part of the market for a second. Where are our highs? That is, golly, that's like, man, that's like using light mode on CoinMarketCap. That's just gross. Ugh. No wonder I've never done that before. All right, so you've got two highs right here. You've got a high here, you've got a high here, you've got a low here. This new phase of the market starts here, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Forget about all the market over here. This new phase of the market started here. Why? Well, we broke through resistance. We broke away from $35,000. Right around here, give or take a few candlesticks on either side, is a new market phase. And we have two major highs and one major low. So we've got two equivalent highs. Great. What do we do from there? Well, we look and we see whether or not we're going to come back and test this bottom, or if we're going to fall and set a level of support higher than it. If we do manage to fall down to a level above $35,000, then that's great. That means that we are still technically in uptrending motion because you are in what is known as an ascending triangle pattern. You've got your flat level of resistance, you've got your uptrending level of support, you've got the market which rallies into it, and then it just kind of bounces around in here. That's great. And that would actually be a long-term uptrending level of support, long-term bullish formation. And we'd like to see that. But if we don't see that happening, then we're simply making a bull flag. And we do need to be a little bit careful because let's just go to a little bit of a cleaner chart. Let's see. Do I even have one of those? Probably not. You guys know my charts are always very messy because I have a lot of analysis on here. If we go to a slightly cleaner chart like right here, then we can see that while, yes, we're entering into an ascending triangle pattern, the problem is there's not a lot of bullishness moving into it. So where would you draw the candle? Where would you draw the flag, right? The flag's like this, which means the breakout's like that. I mean, it points to like 39. I mean, that is one of our price targets, so that's great. But the point is, Bitcoin's losing a lot of its steam right now. And even down here on the hourly chart, we're kind of seeing that as well. RSI briefly jumped up to 90. It's already back down to like 40. That's not a very... it just does not look very healthy. If you look at the MACD, we've converged very bearish. Now, let's look at the 8-hour chart. Bitcoin's had 2 green candlesticks. That's wonderful. But at the same time, we're having bearish RSI divergence on the 8-hourly chart. See right here, you either have an uptrend or you have a flat level of resistance, however you want to call it. On the RSI, you've got downtrending levels of resistance. On the MACD, you've got downtrending resistance. Lower highs, even, I should say. Down on the 4-hourly chart, very similar story. Lower highs on the RSI. This is a form of bearish RSI divergence. And when you have bearish RSI divergence, it is usually not to be ignored. Now, we do want to pay attention to the fact that there could be a bull flag painting right here. But at the end of the day, we've got a lot of things stacked against Bitcoin. And one of the reasons for that, at least on the shorter term timeframes, and one of the reasons for that is because Bitcoin had already rallied so very far. Part of the thing that's interesting is that Bitcoin faked us out so much yesterday that we actually had a confirmed sell signal at the bottom. And then we have a confirmed strong buy signal here. We're moving through so much sideways action that it's going to take a few days for Bitcoin to really shake itself out. This is what happens sometimes in Bitcoin. Let me just kind of back up and give you a principle of technical analysis. One of the things that you must understand about markets is that sometimes they act erratic. The reason that we do technical analysis is because the technical analysis gives us an insight into the machinations of the traders. And the reason that we want to understand the way the traders are thinking is because the market is the manifestation of their actions. If you are a trader and you buy the market, then you are creating demand side pressure and you are indemnibly changing the price of the market. Now, if you are selling, the same thing. You are creating supply side pressure and you are changing the price of the market. So we need to understand how the traders are thinking so we understand whether they're going to buy or sell so that we can understand where the market's going to move next. And if we understand those things, then that is where that is where we will have an understanding of technical analysis and we can make a prediction about where the market's going to go, right? So sometimes the traders are confused about what's going on, which leads to the market being a little bit confused about what's going on, which leads to this almost, how would I say, turbulence. Most of the time in technical analysis, it's smooth sailing, clear blue skies. But if anybody's ever seen the movie Top Gun, the one plane, the one F-15 gets stuck behind the other F-15 in the backwash, and it spins out, and it's a very sad scene. But sometimes in Bitcoin's market, Bitcoin gets in its own backwash, and it gets very confused. It starts to move in directions that are a little bit hard to understand. And so you get these weird signals that say one thing and say another thing, and they kind of contradict a little bit. And so that's where we have to back up as a trader, and we have to say, all right, it's not the plane's fault. It's not that the laws of aerodynamic flight are wrong. It's that we're in a bit of tumult. It's that there's a bit of turbulence. It's not that the art of technical analysis is wrong. It's not that the market is wrong. It just, sometimes you have to kind of pause and wait a minute. Sometimes if you're in contention with somebody, you just need to take 15 minutes and come back and then wait a minute. Okay, now this conversation is acting by the rules of politeness again, right? It's a little bit similar for cryptocurrency. Right now, we are in a zone where the market is trying to figure itself out. It feels a little bit like a teenager. Who am I going to be? I don't know. I'm going to go throw stuff against the wall, sometimes literally, until I figure it out, right? Sound familiar? Been there? Me too. Not been there with my own kids yet. The oldest one's 3, but he does that too. You know, it's part of human nature. That's kind of where Bitcoin is right now. It's trying to figure itself out. It's a little bit confused about its identity. Bitcoin's having an identity crisis right now, guys. So what do we do with that? Patience. Patience, my parent, with the teenager that has no idea who they are. Patience with myself, who has a 3-year-old toddler who sometimes doesn't know what's what. Patience with ourselves when we're confused. Patience with the plane, because the best thing that a plane can do in turbulence, most of the time, is to fly straight through it. Patience. The military will teach you that if you are in a vehicle that moves and you come under fire, the very best thing that you can do is keep on going. Ever heard that song? If you're going through hell, keep on going so the devil won't even know you're there. It's kind of what we're going through with Bitcoin right now. Are we a little bit confused on where Bitcoin's going to go? Not so much. It's more that Bitcoin's confused on where it's going to go. It's still in an uptrend. It still needs a correction, but it still has price targets up to 39. The best thing we can do right now is keep on going and give it a couple of days to redefine its market structure. And that's what I think is happening right now. I think it's a little bit hard to see it, but I can see it, and I'll tell you, Bitcoin is in the process of undergoing some kind of market structural shift. We've had a market structure of uptrending, essentially parabolic uptrending price action. Right now, when you see stuff like this with technical indicators contradicting themselves one day after the other, MACD and RSI and all the other indicators are doing virtually the same thing. MACD's jumping around on top and below itself. RSI's jumping around, not really making its mind up, falling really far to the downside, even though we rallied far to the upside. When the technical indicators are all kind of in flux and the gauges on your instrument panel and your aircraft are doing this number right here, then sometimes you just got to keep on going and things will straighten themselves out if you give it some time and you're patient with it. So that's where we are with Bitcoin right now. It is redefining market structure. What does that mean? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. We are market observers, not market makers. I don't know about you, but I don't have $20 billion to move the market around with. All right? So we are market observers and participants, but we are market observers. So what's my point? Bitcoin is acting a little bit erratically right now. Going through a massive correction one day, oh my goodness, it's the end of the world. Going through a massive rally the next day, oh my gosh, it's the beginning of the new bull run. Going through a pretty big correction here. What are we going to do about that? Well, this is a spinning top. For anybody who's been through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, what's a spinning top? Tell me in chat. A spinning top is a candlestick that looks, just draw you a spinning top candlestick. A spinning top candlestick looks like this on the daily chart, but on the 5-minute chart, it looks like this. Or looks like this, right? That's what a spinning top looks like on the daily chart, on the shorter term time frames. And if we go out to the 3 daily chart, sure enough, maybe the 2 daily chart, I'm not sure which time frame would look at best. Sure enough, on the 2 daily chart, you can see it. Spinning top right there. Another spinning top right there. And this is making my point. Hopefully this makes my point pretty clearly. On the 2 daily chart, it's easy to see the spinning top. On the 1 daily chart, if you know what to look for, bearishness, bullishness, bearishness again, essentially mean it opens here, closes there, and all of this up here and all of this down here is a wick, then while it doesn't show up very cleanly on any individual time frame, you can see the spinning top in motion. You can see the indecision, the seesawing back and forth of correction, rally. It is irrational, it is confusing, and it has not made up its mind. The market is indecisive right now. What does that mean? Well, as we have learned in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, at any point that you see a spinning top, you ought to consider that a warning sign that you may be about to have a trend reversal. I'll prove it. Let's look back on Bitcoin and see how long it takes for us to find a spinning top that proved a trend reversal. Wow, that didn't take long. Here's one right there. Spinning top, small candle body, long candle wick on either side. Here's a spinning top on October the 7th. That's a little over a month ago. We were going into an uptrend. Market got indecisive for 2 candlesticks, and then it corrected. Right? Trying to walk up to a girl. When do you fail? Right? I'm married, so I'll never do this again. But, you know, when I was not married and I wanted it, you walk up, you're confident. Oh, I'm doubting myself. All right, now you're turning around and walking the other way, right? It's exactly how it works. Same deal. Market's confident. The second it starts doubting itself, it's over. So, for all the naysayers who are saying, oh, Jeb, that video didn't age very well. Sure, we called a correction down to 35 to 33 to 31.8 and Bitcoin rally. That doesn't look good. Here's the deal, though. That rally did not break local resistance. That rally created a spinning top. That rally created a sense of confusion in the traders. Now they don't know what's going to happen. That scares them away. You need a sense of consistency for someone to buy your stuff. As a business owner, I can tell you one of the most important things that I can put on the table is a consistent product. Not just a product, a consistent product. The times that I have struggled with consistency, the channel has struggled the most. The times that I've been the most consistent, the channel has thrived the most. And with Bitcoin right now, this is an inconsistent movement that scares away traders. This is one big spinning top. And as we see throughout history, whenever you see a spinning top show up, boom. Normally, you're seeing a market shift from up to sideways, from up to down, from down to sideways, from down to up. Those are the 4 kinds of changes of trend that you can see. And well, there's actually 6. There's also sideways to down and sideways to up as well. Looking back on all these markets, spinning top, aquí, here, right there. There's several of them. One here, one there, and one there, and one there. There's 4 of them. Right? Back here, doesn't take long to find some spinning tops. You see them right there? Long wicks on either side, signaling indecision. Every single... Throw a ball in the air. As hard as you can. Unless you're able to throw that sucker into orbit, there's going to come a point. It's called the apogee. It's called the apogee. That is the highest point of a orbital curve. When you throw a ball, it is in an orbital arc. It is in a suborbital orbit. Suborbital movement. Meaning it's not going to orbit the Earth, it's going to come back down to Earth. It's not moving faster in the horizontal direction than it is being pulled down, so it's not in orbit. If you could throw a ball into orbit, I don't want to meet you in a back alley. Anyway, if you throw a ball in the air, I don't think you can throw it into orbit. There's going to come a point where it stops at the top. And you could think about that as it's trying to decide. Obviously, this is not the way it works because the laws of physics always play out the same way. Markets, obviously, they can change a little bit. But there's a point where it's not going up or down. It's going sideways. It's almost like the ball is trying to decide. Should I go down? Well, yes, obviously it's going to because that's the way physics work. The analogy breaks down a little bit. But there's a point at the top where it stops. That's what happens at the top of every single market. I know I'm driving this point home, but I want you guys to be aware of the danger of this double top because people right now are super excited. Yeah, Bitcoin went on a rally, $3,000. Boom, that's great. Could we go to 39 to 41? Yes, that is my second most likely prediction that we will go from 39 to 41. Quickly. My more likely prediction and what I've been standing by for the last 3 weeks, not been flip-flopping on this, has been the same prediction for the last 3 weeks, is that we will be pulled back to 35, which has already happened, or even down to 33 to 31.8. And maybe those won't happen. Maybe 35 was all the correction we needed. But every time Bitcoin goes through a correction, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to find a spinning top. There's one right there. Going back in history, let's look for some more. Here's the $48,000 high in April 2022. Spinning tops right there. What's the point? Bitcoin's building one big 3 daily spinning top. And again, it doesn't show up very cleanly on any of the specific time frames, but you can see it if you know what to look for. And that's where I want to caution you with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now. There is absolutely a lot of indecision in the market right now. And that is where we need to be cautious. So if Bitcoin starts to break above 37,985 or whatever the exact number is, right below 38, is that time for a long? Potentially. Maybe. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that is a terrible idea. But do be careful. Do be careful. We've rallied $13,000. Don't let one short-term little rally get you to thinking that that is going to be... that is going to lead to another $13,000 rally. Just be careful. All right. Let's go ahead and read some chat. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Sam S. said, really good course. Definitely recommended as far as CT2A. Crypto Mini Bikes in chat. Good to see you. Rick4962 is in chat. John's family said, love CT2A. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys. I love it when we have haters in chat. You know why? Because there's 2 reasons I love having haters in chat. Number 1, sometimes they're just being mean, but they got a good point that I need to consider. All right? And I'll give you that. There are times that I need the correction. There's times. I always need correction if I'm doing something wrong. But at the same time, I also love when the haters show up because it's almost like, you know, it's like when you get to a certain level, you know that something's going right if somebody feels the need to attack you. If somebody feels the need to be mean. Right? And sometimes you're just wrong. You know, again, I don't mind the correction. I don't mind people giving their feedback. I would prefer for it to be nice because I'm a human being, but your meanness rolls right off my back like water off a duck's. Bullet said, good to see you in the studio, Jeb. Good to see you as well. El Gio said, good morning from Seattle. Guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. For anyone who just tuned in, you'll have to go back and watch the beginning of the show because we made a very special announcement. And that is that the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is back. It is back. Today is the 6th birthday of the CryptoJeb YouTube channel, and I'm relaunching CT2A today. And it's got all the old videos. They're all still relevant because technical analysis never changes, and we're going to be putting more content in here as well. There's a lot of great videos in here that completely changed the way that I think about TA. Just sitting down and making videos a lot of times helps me to think, oh, wow, yeah, that's a cool way of thinking about it. One of the videos I love and hear the most is a game of statistics and probabilities. This video is so important because I'm going to talk to you in this video about why you need to look at the market through the lens of being right on average. You need to look at the market through the lens of saying, I'm not going to be right every time. I'm going to try and set myself up so that statistically, after 1,000 trades, after 10 years of hundreds of investments, then statistically, I am going to make a successful return. If you look at a trade calculator, let's see if I can just pull this up really quickly. Trading calculator, there is a this might be it. Aha, I think I found something here that would make the analogy well. Oh, no, it's not going to do it. Forex calculator? I don't know. I'd have to find it. But there are these calculators that you can set up with trading calculators. And they basically say, okay, well, it's statistical. So 70% of the time you're going to be right. All right, well, you might be on a streak where you get 7 trades right. You might be on a streak where you get 7 trades wrong, but you need to give it 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 trades to be able to get into there, to be able to make the profit overall and see that percentage. It's a game of statistics and probabilities. You have to understand that you're going to go on winning streaks and you're going to go on losing streaks. And that doesn't necessarily denote where you are as a trader or an investor. Beginner's luck is a thing. So just be careful. Ladot Martin said, so my login still works. It should. If it does not, shoot us an email at support@cryptojeb.com. I'm going to do my best to help as many of you guys as I possibly can. Please do give me some grace because I'm relaunching a product that has 5,000 current customers already. And we're a very small team, but I'm going to do my very best to get back to all of you, and definitely let me know if you're having any issues. Your login should work. Some people had some issues, and I think there's an issue on Teachable's side, but I will do my very best to help you guys with that. I think I have a pretty much a solution. If you can show me like proof of purchase and let me know the login you used to have, I can see it in the back end, and if we have to, we can just make you a new account. Birthday burpees. Oh, man, let's do some burpees. You first. Haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna potate. All right, happy birthday. Thank you so much. The Drake Equation said, good morning. Thanks, Jeb, for all of your knowledge. We gotta get Ty Lopez up here and let him drop some knowledge. All right. And for any of you guys who have been through CT2A, let people know, is it worth it? Jeb sounds like an independent fundamentalist Baptist preacher when he speaks, Reformed Roller said. I would love to know what exactly you mean. I don't know exactly what you mean there. Alex Nybo said, Jeb, I'm about to sell my business and I'll come work for you for free. Wow. Okay, well, cool. Thank you, Alex. All right, let's talk a little bit about the fundamentals. I didn't get to this yesterday, so I want to talk a little bit about some of the fundamentals. Right now, CPI is sitting at 3.2. CPI sitting at 3.2 is pretty important because it's 2% lower than the Fed's current effective federal funds rate at 5.2. I want to bring you a little bit of context on where this may be going next, because if the effective federal funds rate is the most important metric in the entire economy, the CPI is the subset of that metric, because the CPI is the main reason why the effective federal funds rate is moving around. The inflation of the United States dollar, the devaluing of your currency, is the main reason why they are moving the EFFR around. And while this number is massively falsified, and anybody who understands, grocery shopping could tell you that, there is something to be said that some of that data is actually going to go through. So, what do I mean? We need to go all the way back about 100 years. We're going to do a little bit of a history lesson here, and I'm going to bring up some geography too. And you're going to see how this all ties into Bitcoin. Again, I like to go pretty far away from crypto to bring some information, some treasures, some spices from afar. and bring them back for you, Jafar. No, I'm just kidding. And bring them back so that you can understand the market from the light and the context of the broader world, because it does impact crypto, and it gets ignored quite a bit. But oftentimes when I bring it up, people appreciate it. We got to go back 100 years, and we got to go to our favorite Google Maps, bring out some geography. A little over 100 years ago, this little segment of land right here became one of the most important stretches of land on the entire planet. When a certain man came through with a crew of tens of thousands of people and dug one big trench straight through the sand all the way from Port Said and Port Fuad all the way down to the city of Suez, and created one of the most important bodies of water on the entire planet, the Suez Canal. The two major trading blocks of the world were Europe. Three major trading blocks of the world were Europe, Southeastern Asia, and the United States. This is the turn of the century, post-Civil War, pre-First World War. Suez Canal is being built. That gets built. Changes the game. Now, if you're trying to go from Glasgow all the way over to Hong Kong, you don't have to travel around Cape Town in South Africa, which this was not very good for South Africa's economy. You don't have to go all the way down there. You just come through, down through Egypt, down through Suez, and then boom, you're there. One of the most important waterways on the planet. Well, the United States realized, wait a second, we have exposure to two giant oceans, the Pacific and the Atlantic. And one of the major issues that naval powers have run into for millennia is the multiple seas problem, having to have multiple fleets that are not able to reinforce each other. Russia has this problem. They have to have a North Sea fleet, a Pacific Sea fleet, a Baltic Sea fleet based out of the port of St. Petersburg, and a Black Sea fleet, which used to be based out of Sevastopol and Novorossiysk. So one nation has to have four navies. At this time, the United States had to have two navies, a Pacific fleet and an Atlantic fleet. But there was a piece of land back then in the United States of Colombia that a Frenchman would come and try and build a canal through. And that was what is now modern-day Panama. Well, the Frenchman failed. And then the Americans came. And with 50,000 men and about 10,000 dead, they built the Panama Canal. And it has now become the single most powerful and most important waterway in the world, and made the Suez the second because it connected the United States east and west coast. Lewis and Clark never found a transcontinental waterway, so they had to build the Panama Canal. This canal is under threat right now, and it is changing inflation, and inflation changes Bitcoin. How does the Panama Canal impact Bitcoin? I'm going to tell you. Very, very, very important problem we're running into right now. Things are changing climatologically. I'm not getting into the whole climate change debate. I'm not getting into green vehicles because, believe me, I've got plenty of my own opinions about that. I think there's plenty of lies that are told, and I also think that there are plenty of things that are actually happening that people don't give credit. I think some things are undeniable, and I think some things are conspiracy. All right, so let me just put that out there because I got to wade into the climate thing a little bit so that you can understand this, and we're going to go a little bit over today. Things are changing. We at least know that. People want to argue whether it's man-made, not. That's not my point. I have a long background in science, and I do understand that certain things probably are man-made and certain things are not. Okay? Can I just put that out there? I'm not on either side of that debate. I stand in the middle because both of them are wrong somewhere. So I'm just going to tick all of you off real quick. The fact of the matter is things are changing in Panama with the rains. The way the Panama Canal works is a little bit different than the way the Suez Canal works. Let me just read chat here for a second. The way the Suez Canal works is that there's basically no elevation change. There's pretty much no elevation change in the Egyptian in this swath of Egyptian land. So they basically dug all the way down to sea level, all the way through. So there's not really any locks or anything. You just kind of a man-made break in the land, and so you just kind of sail through it. It's pretty much all it is in Suez. There's not a bunch of locks or anything. It's relatively simple. You just sail through it. You pay, and boom, you go through. It's not the case in Panama. They tried to dig all the way down to sea level. Well, Panama is extremely mountainous. This is a continent right here. There's a mountain range that runs through there. So there's about 3 sets of locks on either side, give or take. I think there might be a few fewer than that. So there's locks. You can see the locks right here. The Miraflores locks. And then you have these locks over here from the 2016 expansion. And there are these lakes. There's Gatun Lake, which is very famous, and then you've got the other lake over here, Lake Alajuela. I always fail to pronounce that. But either way, the ships transit up through Panama, up through the Panama Canal into Lake Gatun, and they come out the other side over here at the Gatun locks. This lake is getting very low in water. Rainfall is much lower than it has pretty much ever been, and recently, Panama had to reduce the number of transiting ships from 40 down to 32, and they also had to reduce the draft by about 25%, which means you could have about 25% less cargo on your ship, which led to a couple of things. First and foremost, if you had too much draft, the second they changed that, well, crap, now you got to go offload some cargo, or you got to go find another way around, so those ships had to go down around the bottom of South Africa. They had to go up through the Arctic Passage, cost a ton of money, which is going to get passed down to the consumer because the businesses have to stay in business. And so when you lower the draft by 25%, when you stop about 1/5 of the ships from coming through, you basically cut the amount of cargo that can go through the Panama Canal in about half. Well, here's the issue. About 7% of global trade goes through the Panama Canal, and it's one of the most important cargo links for the entire United States, which the United States is the country in question because it is the inflationary metric that matters the most to the Fed. When you cut the Panama Canal, the single most important piece of international trade infrastructure that the United States uses, in half, which has already happened and is probably going to get even worse because of the lack of rainfall, that is going to be a big issue for whatever transits that canal. Well, what transits that canal? Mostly food and energy commodities. Mostly bulk food and energy commodities and relatively low value dense commodities. So we're talking about little toy Spider-Mans that sell for $5 here, right? We're talking about shoes. We're talking about things that are consumer. We're not necessarily talking about Lamborghinis here, right? The things that the things that the inflation would hit the rich people. We're talking about the consumer stuff that the average American uses. If you have something coming from China and it's going to the East Coast, which is where like 70% of the United States of America's population lives, it normally goes through Panama. And so if you can't get stuff through Panama, then the price has to go up dramatically. The cost of shipping goes up massively if you have to go through the Arctic Passage, all the way up here through Canada, up here through the Bering Strait, all the way around down to the East Coast, or down around the tip, down here around South America. That's going to lead to inflation. And again, you're wondering, oh, Jeb, how's this tie in? Well, here's the issue. CPI was just getting under control with food. Food just got down to 3.3%. Food away from home still high. Food at home still getting a little lower. Many of these numbers, basically everything in the food category, and quite a lot of things in the commodities category, apparel, alcoholic beverages, tobacco, anything that is relatively small and would fit on a cargo ship. That kind of stuff is going to get more expensive. And it already has started to. And here's the issue. The rainy season ends in about 5 weeks in Panama, and then it goes into their dry season. Well, the lakes are already very low. So this problem is going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And again, it's not going to impact energy quite as much as it is going to impact other end product commodities like food and like, again, shoes, golf clubs, power steering wheel, like whatever. Cars to some degree, because cars sometimes transit through the Panama Canal. This is an issue that you're going to have to pay very close attention to. Because it will impact inflation, and it could change the way that the effective federal funds rate is moved. We might have another basis point rate hike because of it. Okay. The water level low, not due to climate. Boom. Yeah, did we start an argument in chat? Did we? Oh, man. Let's see. OMAC said, channel birthday burpees. Let's knock them out. I'll have to do some burpees. I'll have to. Do the clapping push-ups. All right, guys. Really appreciate all of you tuning in. And please don't forget that the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy is back online. It is back in action. And we're picking up where we left off. We're going to continue putting content into CT2A. It was a mistake to take it down in the first place. It was a big mistake to take it down in the first place. A lesson that I've learned from. And I intend to help you become an expert technical analyst so that you can become a trader and an investor that is worth their salt and can make some money in this space. And again, with the way that I've set up the pricing model, it's going to be more sustainable for us. And at the same time, it's also going to be better for you guys, because if you only sign up for it for a year, then you will actually be getting it for less than the $3.99 that it used to be. But if you sign up to it for lifetime access and you have it for the next 10 years, then that's only $99 a year. right? That's not bad, especially considering this thing has been here for like 5 years. It's going to continue being here. And by the way, it was never taken offline for the people that had access to it. It was just taken offline where you couldn't buy it anymore. So everybody there's plenty of people that still log into it very often and look at it. So you've always had lifetime access to it. There's been some login issues with Teachable, but we've tried to resolve those where we've seen them. So if you want to get access to CT2A lifetime, it'll be $9.97, and that will be discounted from time to time, but typically that'll be the price. And then the annual subscription will be $347, and again, that will end up saving you money if you only end up using it for a year, and you might, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to set up a pricing model that is flexible for you guys so it is conducive to whatever you would like. If you know you're going to be trading and investing and learning TA for the next 10 years, then sign up for the lifetime access, because I want to put like 250 videos in here, not just 50. I've got so many videos in my brain that I'm trying to put in here. So if you have not already signed up for CT2A, I know many of you guys have. If you have not already signed up for CT2A, consider doing it. Sign up with the link in the description box down below. You will not be sorry you did. And as I've already told you guys, we do have a full refund policy. Come to me within a reasonable period of time. I need to sit down and make sure that I'm correct on the number of days. But if I recall, it's been at least a week. If you come to me, I will give you a full refund if you have completed less than, I think it's 25% of the course. And if it's been less than a week, I believe that's been a refund policy, but I may extend that a little bit. We need to clarify on that. So make sure to check it out if you guys have not already. Alrighty. All right. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because we got a lot more coming. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good